So today, we're actually going to go pretty quickly through this situation. Mildly infuriating. It is a brand new subreddit. Thus we begin. There's a woman sitting next to me on the plane who stole my complimentary chocolate while I was asleep. It's not a big deal, but sometimes I just hate people. Be fair. All right, let's take a look here. There's a woman on the plane. She stole the chocolate. Let's get real close up on this. Oh, no. It's a Lindt chocolate. Absolutely pathetic that someone would do this. This person just straight up stole your complimentary chocolate. What happened? Did you have the chocolate resting in front of you? And then when you weren't looking, it's like the little fold down kind of lap thing, and you put the chocolate on there and you kick back like this, huh? And then suddenly, without warning, bloop, take your chocolate? I don't know, man. I think I would just go, oh, haha, you took that while I was sleeping. Thanks for keeping it safe. Give it back. Or I would go, bing, bong, right? Hit that little flight attendant button, that little blue button. I'll be like, hey, excuse me, miss or sir, please give me a chocolate. And then if they're like, oh, we already gave you one, I would just point. I would just freaking... Before we continue, I need to introduce you to my friend. My friend is... Surprise! Camera angle! And also surprise microphone! Jeremy, why don't you come over here, man?
Hi.
Imagine we're on an airplane.
Okay.
No. We're on an airplane, and you have in front of you one of the things that come down. Mm-hmm. And it comes down, and you want to take a nap, and so you put the little Lindt, the little chocolatey orb guy. You put it there. You take a nap.
Okay.
Watch this. Ready? So let's act that out right now.
I'm gonna go to sleep now.
Well, okay, your head wouldn't be on it.
I'm sleeping.
There you
right?
go. Yeah, your
Good
head
night.
wouldn't be on it. Okay, so while you're sleeping, I'm taking this, but you don't know that yet. I take it. It's in my hand. Mm-hmm. I haven't opened it yet. Wake up. Let's act this out. So, and then you notice it's in my hand. What happens next?
Honestly, I shut down.
What do you mean?
I don't confront the person. I just stew the entire flight.
That's kind of exactly what happened in this Reddit video. You wanna sit here for a bit?
Sure.
Let's see what the comments say on this one. How do you know this was yours? Normally, the flight attendant will just skip you if you're asleep. That is exactly what I was thinking. How do we even know if those are the chocolates passed out during the flight? Imagine this lady eating her own candy and Op wakes up thinking she stole theirs. Random guy I was sitting next to on a flight got a cup of water when drinks were first ordered and chugged it, clearly thirsty as frick. Then when water bottles were being passed around, he was asleep and he was about to get skipped, so I spoke up and got bro a water bottle that I shoved in the netting in front of him. The only time we spoke was me pointing it out, him thanking me, and me saying you're welcome with a head nod. I don't know. It felt smooth and I've never told anyone, so there it is, lol. 400 likes. Riveting story! I don't know. I really do think flight attendants are trained not to give you stuff when you're sleeping, because then suddenly it's like in your possession and it's your responsibility, and like, why would they do that, right? So the only situation in which this person already had chocolate in front of them and then it was no longer there, but that was there. That's what I'm thinking. I really don't know. I don't know the answer here. I don't know the solution. I just feel like if that's true, if they stole it, that's so annoying, dude. Me flagging down the flight attendant, hey, can I have another piece of chocolate? The lady stole mine while I was sleeping. Yes, and say it loudly. Attendant, sir, calm down. I didn't give you one because you were asleep. There's no need to be shouting and accusing others just because you don't know what's going on. Here's your chocolate. To themselves afterward, grown man whining about a piece of chocolate like a baby. They do not pay me enough for this. This really seems like an AI-generated comment. Take her headphones while making unbroken eye contact. And she just held it like that for you to see after you wake up and didn't see them pointing a phone at them. Yeah, dude, can you imagine if this was faked for clout in one word? Yes, I can imagine that. Jeremy, what do you think? I think he's editing right now, so he doesn't know that I'm talking to him. Jeremy! Yes.
What's up? Hello, everybody.
This is very quiet,
Still
though.
looking at me? That might just be a me thing. Hello, I'm talking at a normal volume.
Yeah, I think that's a you thing.
What do you need from me?
Nothing. I need you to get back to work.
All right.
Only had 2 sips. Oh my god, a dude put his freaking pinky in your drink? Oh god. Oh no. Maybe we could break into his house, get his thumbprint going. Look at them fingies. These are working man's fingies, dude. The sausage fingies. Holy crap. Well, he can't feel anything. He's got so many calluses, he can't even feel anything. You know what, though? You know what I will say? When you're at a restaurant and the people in the kitchen, in the back, they wash their hands up. They wash them up. But if they're making you a sandwich or something in the kitchen, or if they're grilling beef patties, they're handling it with their bare hands more often than not. They're throwing it down with their bare hands. They're cooking them up, and then they use the spatula, but a lot of times, if they ain't gloved up, they're using their fingies. So chances are pretty good you've had some other people's fingies in your mouth before. I hate to say it. I really do. So we got this guy. He's got his pinky in a drink. Do you drink it? That's the question. My answer is no. I don't drink that. Because hands like that, dude, working man's hands, there's no way you can feel it. And second of all, Ugh. He has to feel that. There's no way he's not aware. Surprisingly, a lot of people are less wary than you think. I would proceed to pick the cup up to allow his entire hand to dip in it. Now you have sticky hand. That'd be followed shortly by dumping it on his head. Fork that guy and his stupid finger. You got a hand like that. You got working man's hands. Your skin is essentially an oven mitt. I don't think he feels what's going on. I mean, look how calloused. There's no way he feels what's going on. Look at that. That dude's had a lot of rope or something in there. I don't know. Yeah, dude, he can't feel nothing. My hands look like that. I've got a farm. You don't touch that drink. Luckily, you've seen it. Imagine you missed and took a sip. Step 0, which Reddit often misses. Excuse me, pal, your finger's in my drink. If they won't buy you a new one, proceed to the next step. Dump your drink on their ass. So you said something to them and they bought you a new drink, right? Why would they put cup holders on the back of seats? Do they think people enjoy hair in their drinks? That's actually a really good place. Or a really good thought right there. That's a really good thought. A lot of people, a lot of women, long hair, etc., out there with their hair, long hair, goosh, in the drink. I understand. I understand this situation. My grandfather, my dad's dad had such thick hands. He was a cement layer. He had such thick hands, he could take a bee out of the air, shake it up like this, and just throw it like dice. Wouldn't feel it. That's how callous his hands were. Never met him, but he's tough. Grandpa Thrasher. My dad is a power lifter. My grandfather had thick hands, and I am reading stories with a pink shirt and an anxiety whistle. Pretty different lives we lead. I got charged a quote-unquote bitching fee for informing them I was served the wrong beer. 1 Miller Lite, $4. Got a 8-inch cheese pepperoni pizza. Sounds really good to me right now, not gonna lie. And then we got a bitching fee for $5. Also an additional 3% for credit card use. I worked at a coffee shop for years, so I know what it's like to work there. More often than not, people are really kind. And I, having worked at a coffee shop, have a pretty, a particular order? I don't know. What I will get every time is a cold brew with either oat milk or almond milk, and I will get what I call half-sweet vanilla. What I mean by half-sweet vanilla is I want you to add the regular vanilla, just half the amount, because a lot of times people will add too much. It do be happening. And some people hear that information and they think to themselves, oh, you must mean that you want sugar-free vanilla because you're saying half-sweet vanilla. So I will now give you sugar-free vanilla. And if you know anything about me, I hear sugar-free vanilla. I sip sugar-free vanilla, and it poisons my tongue. It hurts me spiritually, emotionally, physically. Stevia, stuff like that, aspartame. It tastes like oil. It tastes like going whaling in Japan. That's what sugar-free syrup tastes like to me, personally. Sugar-free vanilla syrup. When I ask for half-sweet vanilla, all I mean is I want the same amount of the same ingredients. I just want half. I just want half of that. And so if I'm at a coffee shop, I will go, hey, could you... And I'll add vanilla to that, but just half the amount. This actually happened this morning. Someone was like, okay, sugar-free vanilla. I was like, no! I went, oh, no, sorry. Just the regular vanilla, just half the amount. And so if I did that at a bar about beer, for example, and I was like, hey, I would like a Miller Lite. And then they give me a Michelob Ultra, of which I know nothing about, by the way. I don't drink like that. I would understand that those are two completely different drinks. And it would make me feel, hey, what's that about? I asked for this and you gave me that. It's not the same thing as like Coke versus Pepsi. Sorry, we don't have Coke here. We only serve Pepsi. Sure. But this isn't that, is it? This is, hey, you got my drink wrong. I see on the menu you have the correct drink. Can you please give me the right drink? And then this happens. And then they charge you a bitching fee. Look at that. Isn't that insane? The thing is, though, if it's like a single-owned place, there's nothing you can really do. I mean, it's not like, you can go to corporate or pull a full Karen on them. You know what I mean? Then you can do about it. I would certainly talk about it. What's this about? You got my drink wrong. There's a chance that Op, in this situation, was kind of a jerk. Maybe 3 beers in, there's a chance. That's funny, but I'd bitch about a bitching fee. Oh yeah, wise guy? It's $10 now. Keep it up. It's interesting that the bitching fee is taxable in your area. Where I live, it's non-taxable. There's no way they can make you actually pay that, assuming they didn't have a sign out somewhere advertising their bitching fee policy. Oh, that's true. Yeah, it's probably just like not legal. Draw an arrow to the fee from the tip line. That's fraud, especially since this was due to their mistake. Why wouldn't they just serve every customer the wrong item and then charge them an extra $5 when they complain? Yeah, I guess that makes sense. It's such fraud. Don't charge them. Lock them up. Hilarious response. I think it's funny. We don't have enough information. It really depends on if they were rude. I agree. There's a good chance that they could have just been rude. Outright rude. LOL, I'd definitely walk out on that bill. Yeah, not like I'm ever going back after that. Yeah, that's so stupid. Okay, getting out of here. Buffet just opened at my sister's wedding and they're immediately packing food to take home. This happened during my sister's wedding reception. The food was just announced open for the buffet, and while most guests were lining up to eat, some of my relatives from my mother's side skipped the line completely and started filling plastic bags with food to take home before even having plates for themselves. It was so embarrassing, especially for the newlyweds who paid for everything. Like, can we enjoy the event? Fire? The event fire? What? Like, can't we just enjoy the event? Oh, like, can we enjoy the event first? So it looks like this person here is filling up bags of food before anybody eats. That's really, really rude. And the fact that he skipped the line is kind of a jerk move as well, wouldn't you say? I knew a couple who would go to funerals just for the buffet, eat, and then just piss off, meaning leave. It takes a special kind of ignorance and audacity to behave this way. It's genuinely embarrassing for people who know them. Op doesn't just know them, they're related. Between choking from secondhand embarrassment and nothing good being able to come out of my mouth, I probably would have just watched the show and then escorted them to the door before they could sit back down. Plastic bags at a wedding is so far out there. Why would you do? And also, putting food like that, moist, steamy, wet food into a plastic bag is like, what is that? Jeremy, what do you think?
So they went to the catering table, they cut people, and went straight to putting it into like leftover bags.
That's right. And then they took it home.
That's crazy. I would kick those people out immediately.
You would just kick them out?
Well, it depends on their if they're my
I
parents.
think they're cousins
like,
or whatever.
Are we talking about what we would do?
Yeah, what would you do?
I don't know, man. That's definitely a conversation. Like,
yeah.
Do they have to like leave right away? So why are you even there though?
I don't. Yeah. Why are you even there? Yeah. Do they have to leave right away?
Yeah.
No. I think they were stuffing that first, and then they plated themselves. They didn't even plate themselves.
You can't be feeding future you before current other people.
They're the type of people like on the Titanic. They'd be like, "I'm a child. I get off first."
Exactly. Yeah. What would you do?
I think in this situation, I see somebody doing this, somebody related to me. I'll be like, "What are you doing?" I would literally just be like, "Hey, what are you doing? Wait until people have eaten first."
Did they bring like Tupperware to the event with them?
No, they brought plastic bags.
Plastic bags.
Just plastic bags.
So it's premeditated, which makes it worse.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if they're having a situation where they don't have any food in the fridge and they're broke and they're trying to resolve that situation.
That's not my problem.
Damn.
Is grandma in the car and they need a...
You need to filter through a little gerbil bag, just cut a hole, like it's a pastry bag, and you just fill it up with like, what is this stuff? It looks like friggin' chili, and then suddenly you're squeezing it into grandma's mouth. What are your thoughts on that, Jeremy? You like that?
That's okay then.
This might actually be the wildest wedding thing I've ever seen. They would never set foot at another family function in my family. What, just because they're eating? Just because they're packing food? I guess if they cut in line to grab food. If they said like, hey, this is for abuela, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, sure. But they're not saying that. They're not saying none of that. Very similar thing happened at my wedding. We had a candy dessert bar set up as party favors. Like the little bins at the candy store with gummies, gumballs, etc., and little Chinese takeout boxes. That's cute. I like that. Because it was an elaborate display, it was up there when the reception started, but with signs all over it telling people it was for after the reception. My aunt/uncle/cousins ran in as soon as the doors opened and started loading up multiple boxes and put them on their table before we were even in the room, since we were off taking pictures. I bet they felt so proud of themselves. I'm kicking you out. Food is one of those it's one of those animal things. Do I have food? Do I not have food? That's just an animal brain thing. And some people will really go for it. And it's like, you gotta be doing all that? You gotta be doing all of that for just a little bit of food, dude? Sometimes in life you gotta have candy. Sometimes in life you gotta eat it for yourself. Sometimes in life you gotta have candy. Sometimes in life you gotta eat. Something to think about. We've got a family who does this. They used to live out of state, so we chalked the behavior up to them wanting to enjoy the family cooking while they had access. A few years ago, the group privately moved back and still did this at family gatherings. They would make 2 to 3 plates of food and take up entire tables and very casually say it's for later, implying that same event, but would end up taking it home. It got to a point where both sides were annoyed. Other family would come early so they could eat and not feel limited to what they could take. The hoarders were notorious late, 11 of them. 11 of them? You got 11 hoarders of food who were notoriously late, and they would complain there wasn't a lot of food left, so they got 1.5 plates and a plate to take home. It was wild how angry people were over food. It's not wild to be angry about that. That is a clear-cut distinction. People be loving food. People will watch food. You ever seen Rhett and Link? The very gentlemen who've invested in my channel. Have you ever seen Good Mythical Morning, where they eat food? They get millions of views eating different kinds of food, or Mythical Kitchen, or literally the entirety of the Food Network. We think about food all the time because it's like having an iPhone that's thinking about a battery charger. You need food. When I was a kid, dude, I had a cousin, and we were doing a little cookout in Virginia, where I was born. I had a plate of like lasagna, spaghetti, green beans, all this stuff. And I was maybe, I don't know, 7, 8, and little cousin, 3, 4. Little grubby fingers, taking his fingies and grabbing my food and popping it in his mouth. I was like, hey, no, stop that. So it's, that stuff is in your brain, dude. It's in your brain. Did everyone just let it happen? See, this is the smartest thing. Reading wedding horror stories on Reddit has convinced me that every wedding party needs an enforcer friend, a big, burly dude who is friends with the bride and her groom, but not involved or known to the extended family, whose job on the day of the wedding is to enforce basic etiquette. Creepy uncle getting a bit too close to the women on the dance floor, enforcer friend takes him aside to tell him to cut that out. Semi-alcoholic aunt already 5 glasses deep, 90 minutes into the reception, enforcer friend is there to cut her off. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's go to the next story. No wonder the actual good movies don't win. The Academy is now implementing a new rule that members must now watch all nominated films in each category to be eligible to vote in the final round for the Oscars. They weren't doing that before! Folks, you're talking to the right guy here. I'm not a member of the Academy. However, I am a member of the Screen Actors Guild. Believe it or not, I was on a TV show. I was on a TV show produced by Amazon and CBS called Dinner with the Parents. It was in 10 episodes. We shot it in London for 4 months. I'm a member of the Screen Actors Guild. And there's something called the SAG Awards, Screen Actors Guild Awards. It's like the Oscars or the Emmys or whatever. And it's like the people in the acting union, me and my peers, vote for who they think is the best actor or actress or whatever in a particular film or TV show. Not a single time, ever, have I been asked, did you see it? Nary a moment. We get things in the mail. They're called screeners. And so screeners are basically like DVDs, which don't make any sense. Or they're QR codes with a link to like the Warner Brothers website or something. You'll be able to watch a movie or TV show or something. Movies and TV shows that are campaigning for them to win the Screen Actors Guild. But you are not required to have seen all of them before you vote. You're just not. You're maybe 2 weeks out before the event. The final ballots are in an email. You click on the link in your email and you scroll down and you've got like the list with the names, and you've got little bullet points, little boxes there, and you click. I vote for Jeremy Allen White for The Bear as best actor on a show. Whatever. That's all that is. It's essentially a Google Doc or Google form presented by Screen Actors Guild. There is not a single question that's like, did you see everything? No. I don't know, actually, if you can not vote in particular categories. I think that would be great. If you could just vote for the things that you've really seen and you really love. How are they going to prove that they watched it, though? That's a really great question. And I think, honestly, it's going to be something like a pop-up screen that says, I have watched every movie, TV show, blah, blah, blah. And you're going to click acknowledge. That's what I think is going to happen. So members must now watch all nominated films in each category. I don't know. I don't think that's actually going to happen. I think you're going to have to click, I acknowledge I've seen everything, and vote anyway. This is something to satiate the public. This isn't real. And to be a member of the Academy, I know a couple really great, smart people who do take this seriously. They're not a bunch of old white guys in a room somewhere. They're people who have been involved in film and television at one point or another. They're producers, they're actors, directors that through their work have been acknowledged by the Academy and then have submitted and become members. That's it. So the fact that the Academy is now implementing a new rule that members must now watch all nominated films in each category to be eligible to vote in the final round for the Oscars. They weren't doing that before? Of course not. You should, when you vote for like elections and stuff, look into it and try to vote for as many categories as possible down the ballot, but not everybody can do that. And so to the best of your ability, you vote for what you think you know about, and then you leave everything else blank. If you're in a crunch, or if you know for sure that you don't know things about this side, and so you're going to leave that alone. I don't know. But people should be looking at the stuff that they're voting for. It makes me feel like that's why Amelia Perez got nominated for 13 Oscars, is they looked up the plot and they looked up the conceptualization, who was directing it, In the past, voters were always asked not to vote if they hadn't watched all of the nominees, but the process operated entirely on an honor system. Moving forward, though, the Academy's e-voting system in the final round of voting will not allow members access to the ballot for categories in which they have not demonstrated that they have watched all of the nominees. It was always a rule, but it relied on the honor system. Okay, so maybe there are like cookies on your web browser that determine that you've watched it, but I really don't think they're going to be able to get all that together. I don't. Ah, yes, the honor system is what the entertainment industry is known for, at least as long as it is about not disclosing crimes related to influential people. Boom, got him! Jeremy, get back to work. What's next? People will have to listen to music to vote for the Grammy winners? They might start requiring real driving knowledge before you get a license even. If only we did this with the Olympics. Bob wins, but he came in third. Yes, but I wasn't watching and he got my vote. It's all about PR and marketing for the winners. A lot of awards shows in general are just a marketing ploy. You guys watch Hacks? There's a show on HBO called Hacks. Love it, by the way. But in it, to promote a show, one of the characters was given an award that was a BS made-up award just to kind of promote that show. That's true, man. You know how many people got the J.D. Power and Associates Award for being a truck? How do you think they got that? What does that even mean? I don't know. My mom says we don't have enough money, but I catch her giving thousands of dollars monthly to a mega church. Thank you for your most recent gift of $600. You can print a receipt from this page. Contribution details. General offering 30. Missions 100. Partner offering 30. Tithes 300. Building fund 50. 300. Wow. So a tithing in a lot of churches means you donate 10% of your earnings. So the mom here says we don't have enough money, so she's donating 10% of her earnings, which is $300. So she makes about $3,000 a month, which is not a whole lot. It's more than a lot of younger people make, but for a mother, for somebody theoretically in their 50s and 60s, $3K a month, not a lot. So not only is she donating 10% of her earnings, the $300, she's donating $600. So double, man. She's donating 20%. If you're having a bad day and you come across a Joel Osteen clip on YouTube, you know Joel Osteen, he's got the hair slicked back, he's like a mega church pastor in Texas. If you were feeling down and you saw a Joel Osteen clip pop up on your TikTok or Instagram or YouTube page, and it made you feel good, made you feel better, that's valuable in and of itself, in a vacuum. You're having a bad day, you see clips pop up of these pastors, these leaders, and they tell you a story from the Bible, or they tell you an anecdote from their own personal experiences. And within that story, the character you see yourself as is a weak, downtrodden person. And then by the end of it, they're cured, or they are saved, or they are rich. Well, rich, I don't know about that. Or they are happy and healthy by the end of the story. They start out feeling bad, they end up happy and healthy. Those stories over time are going to attach that feeling to the person you're hearing them from, or, the church itself, the belief system. And it's okay if that stuff makes you feel good. That's normal. Human beings are designed to be listening to other people's stories. We're designed. That's why you're here right now, because you're here to listen to stories. We are designed for that. Or the way that our brain is pieced together, we interpret stories as tools to help us survive. And so this woman here has been watching these people's stories for a long time, Bill Winston Ministries, and she truly believes that she needs to give her tithing. She needs to give 10% of her monthly income. She was probably told that if she donates even more blessings are going to come her way. So she's like, well, Billy did really good in school, so yeah, you know what? I'm going to full send it. I'm going to send $1,000 to this church. So she says she doesn't have a lot of money, but she's donating $600 to this mega church. Thank you again for your support. God bless you. And remember, keep walking by faith, meaning walk the walk. Don't just talk about it, be about it. If you donate to this church, blessings will come your way. God will absolve you of your pain, your suffering. Jeremy, you want to hop on this tune?
Mr. Krabs song. Beep up, boop up, boop up, boop up. What's that song that goes beep up, boop up?
They say Jeremy's got bars. This situation sucks because you want as much as I hate to say this, you want your mom to have something to believe in. You want your mom or, this older woman, to have a belief system and to feel like she's being supported and to feel like she's being uplifted, that she's putting in work that will have a dividend later on and bless her life. She wants to. That's why she's spending $600 a month. Maybe you're not hanging around her a lot. Maybe you're not calling her. And who does she have? She has the TV. She changes it to channel 4 or whatever channel, and she's watching these people talk to her, and they're indoctrinating her. Whether or not you believe in God or whether or not you believe in this religion, they are convincing her. And she believes that if she gives money to these people, something good will happen. This is on the subreddit Mildly Infuriating. And this post has 140,000 likes on it. It's so easy to be like, this stupid woman is donating money when she's not, hanging out with her kid or whatever. Like, I don't know. I'm saying thoughts that people could in passing have. She needs to get up and go do something with her life instead of, believing the lies of this mega church. I don't know, man. I hate to say it, but this is her TikTok. You know what I'm saying? This is her gifting roses to the NPC Miles Morales.
How much is she donating?
$600 a month. But the thing is, her tithing portion of that is $300, which tithing usually means 10% of your income. So she's donating 20% of her monthly income.
Oh my God. Okay, that's a lot.
Maybe the kid could talk with the church to make her donate less. That's a very sweet thought, but I don't think
it's absolutely not going to happen.
Yeah, somebody says, unfortunately, that's their entire demographic, lonely people. Asking for a friend, can they donate to just the airplane fund? Wait, is there an airplane fund? Oh my God, there's an airplane fund. Oh my God, there's an airplane fund. So they're trying to buy a private jet. The thing is, though, again, what you're going to receive, what you're going to hear about that is we need this airplane to save more people. We need this airplane because we will more quickly be able to go to more people and save more lives and join our friendship group that is the megachurch.
Have you ever seen Righteous Gemstones?
No, I auditioned for it, though.
Did you?
I did, yeah, for The Sun. To be able to work with John Goodman would be so cool.
That's my dream.
Please keep working with me and not John Goodman.
If John Goodman wants me to be Mike Wazowski too, I'm going to do it.
That's enough out of you. Frankly, I'm surprised they even had a remotely truthful contribution breakdown of all this. Airplane fund on the receipt is very bold. Airplane fund is literally paying for the owner's private jet, LOL. And this is Copeland or whatever his name is. This guy's actually evil. And I don't say that about every priest or pastor, by the way. I used to be quite religious. I don't think every pastor or priest is an evil person. This guy is absolutely an evil man. She ain't wrong. She's wasting all that money on other people's fortune. Here's what you do. You build a website like that one and then collect her money. Then use that money to support family. Actually, not hard to do from inside the house. Remap the DNS to an internal server, duplicate up to the website. Okay, now they're talking about fraud. Don't do that. Don't steal the money from your mom and repurpose that to something, even though it's better. You just gotta talk to your mom. Train guy says they probably guilt you into donating. That's probably the case, yeah. Am I a bad person for being upset that I won't get the tips that I worked hard for? This happened to me once. I worked for a guy that was it was a Korean Italian fusion restaurant. It's not alive anymore. It's not up anymore. But I was a busboy, and I was supposed to get an amount of tips from my wages. What I mean by that is minimum wage in California is $15 an hour. Say I got $3 that hour in tips. He would take the $3 from my minimum wage to where I would still make $15. I don't think I'm explaining that right, but it's illegal, and that restaurant got shut down in California. Received this message from one of my managers. I don't know how to react or what to reply. I feel like a bad person for wanting to get the part of my tip rather than giving it to Janice. Sending this message to all employees, the pooled tips we've gotten from last month won't be distributed. Janice's mom just passed away, and they could use it more than we do at the moment. I wish you all a good day. Oh, I think that doesn't come from the tip jar. I think that comes from the company. I think that comes from company profits. Yeah, you can't take away other people's tips for that. You do a fundraiser, you do a one-time bonus, you pull it from the business. I'm struggling personally and has been expecting this money since last week to get some blankets, pillows, and dog food since I just recently moved into a new place and all I have is a mattress, and I've also been eating just ramen for the past couple of days, and I was looking forward to getting my share of tips so that my dog and I can eat something decent. I feel like a horrible person for wanting my share since most of my colleagues agreed to give theirs when I called my manager. I don't know how to feel. I feel like I'm being selfish, but at the same time, my dog and I need to eat, and I could really use a frickin' pillow. That money shouldn't come from the tips. That money should come from another type of fund, for sure. I understand where the manager is coming from, but not very bueno. As a restaurant manager, this is illegal. Oh! I believe that. Wait until you find they decided to only give Janice a small portion of the money and kept the rest. Either way, it is illegal and report it to the labor board. Whoa! Why are there still undistributed tips from last month? Seriously, how the hell long does it take for you to get paid? Back when I worked at a coffee shop, I think the tippage would stop on Friday and would be counted from the previous week, and we would get those on like Sunday or something. It's illegal for more than one reason. Call your state labor board and report it. This is really all OP has to do too. Don't bring it up to management and expose yourself as the one reporting it. Just report and wait for the outcome. Management will eat schnizzle on this. Just provide that screenshot in the report. Report this immediately. That's your money. You can decide whether you give your money to Janice or not. That's the thing. That could be up to you. That has to entirely be up to the person receiving the tips. I would message back to just the sender and tell them while you're sorry about Janice's mother, you're not in the financial situation where you can give up your tips. It's pretty effed that they did this in a group message, but it was probably a way for people who would potentially argue to feel like an a-hole if they don't agree. Exactly. I feel like that may be why they opened up the idea there. I love Janice and I'm sorry about her situation, but I love my dog more and I could really use the freaking money that I worked hard for. Sucks. Sorry, but I gotta feed my dog and I want to eat. and I was really looking forward to these tips. I was budgeting for that. I am looking at 2 lizards right now boning in front of my studio space. There they are. There are the lizards right there. You see that? There are the lizards. They're going up. Oh, they stopped. I just thought you should see that. This was Reddit's r/mildlyinfuriating. I want to thank you all for joining me. Till next time, I want you to think this one singular thought. Outro.